Welcome! You're watching the Thrift Store Rundown's Odyssey to the Oscars, where we bring the Academy Awards home on a budget. The golden era of cinema. How do we rank thee? Let us count the ways, and by us, I mean Entertainment Weekly, as they count down or count up the 100 greatest movies of all time. This was actually published in 1999. This thing is over 20 years old, so it's definitely aged, but its appeal is timeless. Like many things I buy from yesteryear, right? This is also one of the more historic purchases I have ever made at TSR, utilizing the new daily tag discount system at Unique. This was one of two items that I purchased for 75% off its sticker price. In this case, $7.99. What was the other item? You can guess in the comments, but if you want to cheat a little bit, I will leave that in the description below. I could go one of three routes for this. I could highlight all of the best picture winners in here, and there are many of them, I believe nearly a dozen. I could also highlight all of the films that I have reviewed in one capacity or another here on this channel, but I'm actually going to go route number 3, and that would be a fun round of movie trivia on the back flap of the dust jacket. 8 questions to test your golden era cinema knowledge, and we'll go through them in numerical order. Starting here on page 8. What words synonymous with the mob were banned from the script of The Godfather, the Oscar-winning script of The Godfather? To avoid provoking real-life gangsters, that would be Mafia and La Cosa Nostra. You can find that out by checking out the fun factoids behind the scenes that every movie lists here in this book. And that goes for the top 100. By the way, The Godfather, spoiler alert, as you'll see, is ranked number 1. The greatest movie of all time according to EW, Sucker 99. Along with fun factoids going behind the scenes regarding costumes, set design, casting, photography, visual effects, if any, art direction, all that good stuff, you get an Oscar index. How many nominations the film received, and how many wins, if any. In The Godfather's case, Best Picture, Best Actor, and Adapted Screenplay. And if you haven't seen it, earlier in this series I reviewed the annotated screenplay, and then some, alongside the Tootsie Table by Stanley Tucci. So if you want to check that, of course, check the playlist, and I will, of course, provide that video in the description as well. By the way, you'll find La Cosa Nostra and Mafia being banned in this fun factoid. Made guys have feelings too. Thanks a lot, Joe Colombo. Let's see if Detective Columbo can get on your case. God rest his soul, Peter Falk. So that's page 8. Let's go now and do page 22 here. What immortal closing line was almost dropped in favor of such censor-inspired alternatives as it has become of no concern to me, my indifference is boundless, and it makes my gourds wise? That would be, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. In the most reviewed film in all of TSR, Gone with the Wind, which ranks number 8. Another alternative that would be a little more PG-friendly, frankly, my dear, I don't give a hoot. As you'll see over the course of skimming through this book, the behind-the-scenes photography from the films, well, it is plentiful. Black and white and color, so we have some visual variety, all of high quality. Next, let's do page 40. What star agreed to work on the now classic tough guy drama only on the condition that he could leave the set early each day to meet with his psychotherapist? That would be Marlon Brando. What film? No, not The Godfather. That would be Elia Kazan's On the Waterfront, number 17 here in the top 100. Marlon Brando agreed to take the role only if he could leave the Hoboken set. Yes, they did film in Hoboken, New Jersey. Every day at 4 p.m. to drive across the Hudson River and meet with a psychoanalyst in Manhattan. This, by the way, received 12 Oscar nominations, 8 wins, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, and Best Supporting Actress. Moving on, let's go to page 60. Name the film purporting to sow the underside of Washington politics that caused a third of the political packed audience at the movie's DC premiere to walk out and led other studios to offer the producers several $1 million to bury the picture. What film could that be, you ask? That's actually on page 61. A slight little flub up on EW's part, but that would be Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, which ranks at number 30. And that fun factoid is found here. Shocked by the depiction of Senate graft and National Plus Club tippling, a third of the political packed audience walked out of Mr. Smith's Washington premiere. I bet if they showed that at the next White House Correspondents' Dinner, nobody would walk out. Next up, we do page number 78. What classic action sequence was filmed on a soundstage rather than a national monument on which it was supposed to be set because the U.S. government wouldn't permit the depiction of violence? I hope they're less stringent in their rules as time went on, but that would be North by Northwest. And you'll find that fun factoid here, how they did it. The U.S. government would not allow any violent scenes to be filmed at Mount Rushmore, which forced Hitchcock to shoot inside a studio with oversized sets, backdrops, and photographic plates of the monument. This received 3 Oscar nominations with no wins, and is ranked number 44 on EW's Top 100 list. Coming up next, that would be page number 100. Which 70s flick was originally titled here we go again. Anhedonia? A psychological term referring to the inability to feel pleasure. That would be Woody Allen's immortal Annie Hall. Best Picture winner, along with Best Director and Best Actress. 4 out of 5 Academy Awards. Not too shabby for a future Hollywood iconoclast. For the record, anhedonia, a psychological term that refers to the ability to experience pleasure, that's the original title factoid. I'm going to turn just a few pages for you to find our next question to answer. That would be page 107. Which gritty tale of New York street life achieved much of its grittiness from the fact that the director didn't have enough money for proper lighting? Well, thanks in large part to Mother Nature, good lighting is what made Mean Streets a mean flick, ranked number 64 here. And by the way, through ends darkly. That gritty, urban look was a matter of necessity. It rained most of the 6 days during which Scorsese could shoot on location in New York, and he didn't have the lights to properly illuminate many of the interior scenes. One last question to answer here, and that would be page 138. Now we can get here. What dramatic scene was completed in one take by the film's young star after he had spent hours in his dressing room slugging wine and listening to Wagner's Ride of the Valkyries? James Dean. Film Rebel Without a Cause, which solidified his place as one of the pioneering heartthrobs of the silver screen. This received 3 Oscar nominations, and is ranked number 86 on EW's list. Was it Wagner or the wine? Dean prepped for his emotional police station scene by drinking wine and listening to Ride of the Valkyrie in his dressing room while cast and crew were kept waiting. When he finally emerged, he pulled it off in one take. Now that's making quite an entrance. And that, my friends, if you want to call it small, it's just a fairly small taste of the epicness you're going to feel when reading this top 100 list. For the record, I'm showing you the contents as a bit of a spoiler. These are all the films ranked in the top 100 and the top 20 right here in this black section on the left. And regarding, we didn't forget, honorable mentions in that section as well, which include Raiders of the Lost Ark and West Side Story, among others. The author is senior writer Ty Burr, and you'll learn more about him on page 5. That's him right there, Ty Burr. So, if you disagree with this list, you know whose blood to go out for. If you agree with his list, well then, you know who to commend for this. but really Entertainment Weekly should be commended as a whole for such an epic list like this. Both visually and article-wise, trivia-wise, just everything on the home front. This thing rocks. Oh, and one more game for you. Can you name all 5 of the films that these images were featured from? This is obvious, this is obvious, this is obvious, but can you name all 5 of them? And this is kind of obvious too, so 6 to mention here. Now, I haven't seen all these films yet, but you can bet that sometime soon, they'll be making appearances on the channel too. A perfect 5 out of 5 clap rating. For the record, number 40 in this list happens to be Schindler's List. And in TSR fashion, we got you covered with that. Speaking of Schindler's List, for any movie buff, this list will give you life. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow's another day, so long as I catch you on the thrift side, and it's bound to be awesome. So, stay golden.